Businesses are electrifying at a record pace, and why? Because it makes sense. Sure, some of them might do it because they like it, because they think it's a great idea, but most of them do it because it makes as much sense as it makes dollars. And we've got a couple examples of that today. I am joined by business wizard Randy Kirk. We'll have a quick conversation about all the things that make an EV for your business just make sense. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. So Randy, neat one. I've got a video coming up in a couple days, I think, about the Silent Gardener, who I talked to you about last week on your show. He runs a business in Vancouver, BC, where he runs an entirely electrified fleet of yard care equipment. The mowers, the weed eaters, but the truck. The two trucks and the Model Y that they use to haul a small trailer for the smaller jobs. And why would you want an electric truck for your business, Randy?
Well, generally speaking, I would want it because I want to save the earth.
Oh,
Yeah, that would be a good reason. Sometimes I might want it because it's quiet and maybe because it doesn't use as much parts and stuff and drag me off the site over to a service center quite as frequently.
And would you do it because it saves money?
There's a good reason.
There, we found it. Contractor reveals how much money his Cybertruck saves him in fuel costs each day. Cybertruck doing the work. That part feels completely unnecessary. So here we are. Here we have it. It's a little trailer, big old triangle. Tesla Cybertrucks are becoming more and more popular, correct? For all sorts of driving needs, correct? Thanks to their environmental and money-saving attributes. And people are happy to spread the news. Dan Burke, contractor in Missouri, posted that using his Cybertruck to tow his construction trailer is saving him 65 smackaroo bobs a day. Just on fuel. Just on fuel. Forget your oil changes. Forget your inevitable brake job. When you're towing this and you need to slow down, think of all that extra regen you're going to get from all those newtons, fig or otherwise.
Yeah.
It's replaced my Dodge Ram as the around-town vehicle for construction trailer. Even with reduced range, most of my trips are 15 to 20 miles a few times a day. Saves me 65 a day in fuel. So yeah, if you think about, most contractors aren't going across state lines unless they live on the state line. Most contractors operate in the Tri-County area, whichever 3 counties those may be. $65 a day. Now, of course, because it's Yahoo here, we've got some awesome monster math. That means Tesla Roddy did the math. They're saving $17,000 a year. Now, I don't know if they included weekends in that, but it's Tesla Roddy, so you just don't know. $17,000. That's more than your payment, right?
Yeah. Well, did it say 17,000 a year?
Yeah.
65. Yep. Yeah, that's not weekends. So that would be, 2,000 work days. Yeah.
Gotcha. So that's great. That's going to cover your payment.
Oh, yeah.
Depending how much you put down.
Yeah.
But if it's not, then all of a sudden you've got a new truck for $400 a month, $500 a month. And again, you're not doing the maintenance. You've got a new truck with a new truck warranty. All of that works out. And it just makes sense.
And it's a babe magnet.
Yes. Yes. A lot of cars that are considered chick magnets really aren't. In 2000, when I had my Viper, people would say, wow, that must be a real chick magnet. No, it's a young man magnet, because they're the ones who are like, it's a hot rod. I love it. So yeah, 19-year-old boys thought it was very cool. So if you're into straight 19-year-old boys, but the Cybertruck, I don't know, it's just cool. It's just cool. Are there other benefits to electrification? Perhaps. Opinion. Why electric cars are good for the grid. Now we could go into this, but I just like to hear your thoughts, because I know you have several rattling around in your head. How can more demand result in a stronger grid?
How can more demand result? I didn't read the article, so let me think. More demand. Well, for one thing, I suppose you would want to Brian, you've got me.
I got you. The big thing is you're going to be charging at night.
You are? Oh, so at home.
At home, most
Oh,
people charge
oh,
most of the time at
at
their
night.
home at night.
Yes.
When the demand on the grid is the lowest. You can get more power through the grid by utilizing it better with the existing capacity. We see a lot of people say, well, the grid, if everybody charged at once,
Yes.
the grid would collapse. Why would everyone charge at once? If everyone went to the gas station at the same time, the gas stations would collapse. And we know because we see it every time there's a hurricane evacuation. It's not set up for that either. The difference is when I leave my home with my EV, I leave it at a full state of charge, whatever that is. Today I'm at 80. But when I leave my home in a gas car, I cannot be at 100%. You
No,
cannot, unless you have a gas pump at your house, which I guess I should ask. Do you have a gas pump at your house, Randy? No. Okay. So I guess my assumption was correct this time.
I do have an electron pump.
So much better.
So much.
You know who else's house has one of those? Everybody's, almost everybody's. Unless you forgot to pay the bill, you have an electron pump at your house.
Yeah.
So the pumps are just there. The other thing with it is the odds of needing all capacity at once is very low. When Safeco Field was built in Seattle, they had an open house where they invited everyone to come and check it out, just check it out, sell a bunch of merch and open the restaurants up and see if they can handle a dry run, so to speak. But they called the event something like the Big Flush because at a coordinated time, over the loudspeakers, they're going to say 3, 2, 1, flush the toilet. And we're going to make sure that every single toilet here can be flushed at the exact same time. Looking back, that's not something that's actually going to happen. But it is a fantastic stress test. And thank goodness you got to do it with them, I assume, mostly empty of biohazard. Biohazard, we'll just call it that.
Yeah.
So that's... you don't need that. Do they say, by the way, on Thanksgiving, please stagger the hours at which you fire up your turkey?
Yes.
No. And everyone's using their oven at the same time. And you only need to add a few miles a day. You only need to replace the miles you drove today. Now, yesterday, Randy, we did talk about this, so I'm going to bring it up again because this is fantastic news. Kyle Connor from Out of Spec, friend of the show, sort of. I've been on his podcast a few times, and he's an awesome dude. Model 3 blows past EPA rating, goes 370 miles in the full test. By the way, Simon Alvarez, I've been enjoying his work lately. He does pretty fantastic work.
Yeah.
He's one of the few writers where I see where if it's ever sensational, it's still honest, but mostly it's just pretty even-keeled stuff.
I'm going to suggest that if he listens to your channel or listens to my channel, he should probably resource all of the YouTubers as potential people to talk to. We commonly will have a lot of knowledge that nobody else has. And not to say that we're great, it's just that we spend our whole life doing this. And so there you go, Simon. That would be a recommendation. I actually reached out to Simon when I wrote the Elon Musk mission to see if he wouldn't, like to be more of a correspondent. And I didn't get very far. So, but I think it'd be smart.
It's not that we know more than someone else or they know more than us. It's that we sometimes know different things because we're both so far into the weeds.
Right.
And I know Paul Foss from Clean Technica is a friend of mine, and we will run ideas past each other because as bright as we both are, we just have a slightly different perspective. The reengineered Model 3 is steadily gaining a reputation for being the most underrated Tesla in the market today. I mean, I think that's true. I think that's true. The Model Y is, very, very popular. The S and X are, the higher end. The Cybertruck is the halo. I guess Model 3 is pretty underrated, and it is a fantastic car. As you know, I took it autocross racing, and it was insane. By the way, did I tell you I've been having performance issues on my 0 to 60 on my Model Y?
Performance issues. You have me worried. You have me worried.
I had taken some folks out, and I said, do you want to see the zippy 0 to 60? Oh, absolutely. So we get on the little highway where the speed limit's 45, and we did a 0 to 45 when the light turned green, and they're like, that was amazing. And I'm like, boy, something's wrong with my car. I don't know what it is, but that felt really slow. And then so the whole rest of the day I'm trying to figure out what is something. No, it's because I've been driving Model 3 Performance on a track. It's because I've
Oh,
been in plaids. It's because I've
oh,
driven the Cyber Beast.
yeah,
It feels slow. My Model Y long range is like the third slowest Tesla that they make. It's just faster than any other car I've had. So
right.
it felt. So I'm, gotta reset my barometer. The re-engineered, yeah. So in a recent post, Out of Spec did their all the way full to it don't move no mo test. The ultimate range test was simple. They charged both vehicles to full and ran them until they stopped. They did it at highway speeds of 70. So this isn't, 55 or whatever. There are different ways you can game an EPA test, but the EPA did tighten their rules. And the people who are still complaining about the EPA rules need to understand that there are the WLTP standard and the NEDC standard used in Europe and China are even more ridiculous. Differences in range between current and previous gen were then computed and adjusted based on the older car's mileage and estimated battery degradation. Yeah. It traveled 2 further miles when it was no longer able to go 70, and then it stopped. So head on over to Out of Spec Reviews to watch this whole video. The older Model 3 all-wheel drive threw in the towel closer to 300 miles, which is what I would have expected at 70 miles an hour
Yeah.
on the older one. Kyle had done one at 310 miles before, but considering that the one they were testing today wasn't new, that would make sense. These are good numbers, right, Randy?
Well, they're good enough for me. I mean, different people have different needs. Generally speaking, unfortunately, we don't go 70 miles on the freeways, at least not in my neighborhood. We go
No.
80 miles an hour on the freeways. So they
Or
don't
2.
are two.
Or 2 miles an hour.
2 miles an hour, yeah.
Well, you could go, how often do you need to go more than 100, 150 miles? You could go 150 miles and
Once every,
back.
yeah, just to see my brother in San Diego. That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. 150 miles and back, no charge.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I was, like every new EV buyer, always worried about my battery health. And I have had, as far as I can tell, no degradation since I bought it. And now that I have a level 2 at home, I don't even think about it anymore. I had, a drive to Portland and back yesterday. I didn't change my charge. It's only 100, 120 miles for the whole shebang round trip. Don't even have to think about it. Came home, started at 80, came home at, 50. So it was fine. I don't remember the exact numbers because I didn't care, because I didn't look, because I still had plenty to go. And I did not stop at a gas station. But I did go to JB's for chicken sandwiches. It was wonderful.
I see.
So guys,
if I'm ever in the neighborhood, that's the one to go to, huh?
Yeah, it is actually hand breaded. They also have a sandwich called I think it's called the chicken of the sea of the land. And it's like a fish sandwich, but they've substituted the fish with chicken, and there's no fish in it. So it is a very tasty chicken sandwich.
I'm so confused.
They're funny. They're a funny place. They like to be funny, but their chicken tenders are hand breaded, real. It's just, the quality is quite good, and it's not too crazy for the price. The 3 of us with no drinks was still $42, but it's Portland. So there's no sales tax. Hey man, what are you going to do?
Yeah, there you go.
So guys, I'm going to be driving down for the 1010 event, which is going to be a lot of fun and exciting. If you're along the West Coast path and would like to say hello, let me know where you're at. And for that matter, we have got coming up this very weekend, the Florida Cyberfest 2024 at the Ocala, Florida Hard Rock Off-Road Park, where you will be able to do a ride along on the off-road park. And it's not like a crisscross where everyone's going crazy. It is a course that you follow. And if you wish to put your Cybertruck on that course, you may. And if you are uncomfortable doing that, you can have someone ride with you who knows the course and can tell you what to expect. It's nothing crazy. It's just a bit of fun. There will be a light show. There will be live music. There will be beach buggy racing tournaments, food trucks. And of course, there will be a number of speakers presenting on that day, myself included. Dr. Scott Walter will be there. Cern Basher will be there. Dr. Know-It-All has said he will be there, but I have not confirmed with him. Justin, Raphael, and Nancy from the Arctic Expedition will be there. Josh West 24/7 will be there. It looks like Casey from the Tesla Life podcast will be there. And we have a couple other surprise guests I'm not allowed to introduce at this time. Join us, won't you? And I know the answer for Randy is no, I won't join you.
Not this time.
That's
but I
too
will
far.
On 10/10, you and I will, give a second time high five or something.
Yeah. Would you believe, everybody, that Randy and I have not met in person in 2 years?
Something like that.
I think it is 2 years. So I don't know if I'd recognize him.
Yeah.
Because with that beauty filter he's got going there, I mean, just butter. He looks like melted butter. So guys,
you can't miss me. It's about the shirts, Brian.
I'm trying to figure out what the shirt looks like. It looks like Starlight Bowling? I'm trying to figure it out. Because I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
Starlight Bowling. Let me see if that's a thing. No, it's too generic of a term. Darn it. But yeah, it's I'm going to try one more because I just got a retro bowling
shirts.
No. Sign? Nah, it was worth a shot. I gave it my best. Oh my gosh, Randy, I think I found your jam here. It looks to me a bit like this. Like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. It's in the deal.
It is absolutely a retro bowling shirt. You got it figured out.
Absolutely.
So that was a good use of time. These are bits and bytes the internet may not have back. What did we miss? What do we misunderstand? Leave it into them comments below and stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots in Ocala, Florida on September 21st and in the greater Burbank area around 10/10.